looking at Bronfenbrenner's social ecological model that was developed in 1979, when you think about this model, or any of you that are familiar with this model, you can look at the diagram and see that it was originally developed to look at the development of a child and how these different systems impact a child. So obviously, military personnel are not children in this sense. However, I'd like to look at them using this model because we're looking at them honestly as a child of the military, if you will. And how I started using this model with this population was actually through my dissertation, because I did do my dissertation around adult children of military parents. And so I pulled this model in to really look at how the different systems that impacted that adult child, and how that military culture impacted that adult child and the mental health of that adult child. So in continuing my research and my studies, I felt like this probably could be applied to the actual personnel, because when you really think about the military culture and how it operates, there's really a childlike component when someone comes into the military, because they raise them or rear them up in the military culture. So given that understanding, we're going to look at the 5 systems of Bronfenbrenner's social ecological model as these systems relate to the military culture. So the first system that we're looking at is the microsystem. And this microsystem is the first level of Bronfenbrenner's social ecological model. It's the closest level to the person. And it's the things that have a direct impact or contact with the individual in their immediate environment. So when we think about military personnel, this may be spouses, it may be their adult or older parents, it could be their children or their siblings, it could be their friends or their colleagues. Because you think about, people are able to come into the military but at around 17 or 18, so it's definitely possible that their parents could still be impacting them. However, they can stay into the military until, I think my father retired in his maybe 50s. So obviously there are children and spouses that could impact this as well. So then we look at the mesosystem, and that's the second level. So this is where there's an understanding that microsystems do not function independently of each other, but they are interconnected. So when I think about this as it relates to a military personnel and what that mesosystem may look like for them, it may be the interaction between the spouse and the children. It may be the interaction between the parents and the siblings that they're involved with. It may be their interaction with other families as it relates to the military. Then we've got the exosystem, and this is other formal or informal social structures which don't contain the individual, but indirectly affects them. So this system says it doesn't have to be something that the individual is directly involved in, like the mesosystem or the microsystem, but it is something that can indirectly impact this individual. And if you see in the diagram, it gives some examples of mesosystem. Exosystem. So this is extended family and neighbors, the economic situation, mass media, social services, healthcare, etc. So now looking at macro system, this is how cultural elements affect the development or socioeconomic status, wealth, poverty, ethnicity of an individual, or in this case, the military personnel. So again, macro system is all about those cultural influences, that attitude and ideology that comes from their cultural background. And lastly, the chronosystem. And this is all of the environmental changes that occur over the lifetime that influence one's development. So these are major life transitions, historical events that may have taken place, in any environmental change that takes place over one's lifetime.
Next, we come to evaluation and individualized plans. I think Dr. Barnes did a great job of showing and demonstrating some effective evidence-based strategies that can be utilized with working with this population, because it really is important and it really is necessary. And it's important that we understand that all of these plans and all of these ideas need to be created and tailored to that individual. Because if we're not addressing someone's concerns early on, like if they experience trauma before childhood, we know with the ACEs study, or their trauma while in the military, or the military life or the culture, or the things that have added to them developing an addiction, none of these things will really help to effectively change or help that person want to change how they feel about themselves and to stop using drugs and to address their substance use concern. So we really just want to reiterate here the importance of really developing an individualized plan, doing your due diligence as a clinician or a person of support to really walk alongside this person during this journey. And I want to repeat that because I think it's really important, no matter what your theoretical orientation is or foundation is, that in this process of working with military that are struggling with substance use disorder, you have to walk alongside them during this process for them to feel supported, heard, respected, and appreciated so that they can once again start to those same things about themselves so that they can themselves tackle this addiction. Because although you will be supporting them and their families will support them and all of these techniques and things will support them, it is always going to be upon them to make that decision to get treatment and maintain that, like Dr. Barnes was saying about the stages of change.